Greetings, YouTube. It is finally that time. A time where you can look at your roster of 1 stars, where you see that my highest PI by far is my classic Spider-Man with a whopping 462 and say, oh, wait a minute, there's this summoned Symbiote who's just a tad bit higher than my 462 PI Spider-Man at 9,875. So close to 10,000, buddy. Maybe if you were 2-star, maybe next time. So, I have waited to do this video, which is one of the most requested videos I've ever had, basically saying, hey, Prof, which enhancements are good and which ones suck? Well, I thought it was best to wait until the Symbiote difficulty to make this video. Because if you're like me, you haven't used any of these things. In fact, it was just yesterday that I even ranked up my Symbiote from rank 1 to rank, 4, 5, whatever we're calling this ranking, with only those Clintar catalysts that I still have plenty left over that are just sitting in my inventory I could do nothing with. Well, anyhow, I have made a list, thanks in part to the Reddit of MCOC and also just other YouTubers, and I'm going to go through each one and talk about whether or not you should spend your Clintar strands, which is still just a random thing for me to say. I'm sure it makes perfect sense in the MCOC universe and the Marvel universe, but Clintar strands, KS, you want to really be careful with what you use and what you don't. And as you can tell, I have over 1,100 that I've been saving up, and you better believe I'm going to try to use them only on the ones that I'm really excited to use. So let's start with this cauterize. Now, cauterize is something that you should really use mainly for the Deadpool Classic boss toward the end of the Symbiote difficulty. Why is this? Well, Deadpool Classic, of course, loves to regenerate his health. And so Special 1 attacks apply heal block to regenerating champions for 10 seconds, and he will be the biggest regeneration champ that you want to use. So I would say buy one maximum of 2 of these, and then just save your Clintar strands for other more useful overall ones. So I'd buy 2 of these, and that's it. Now, cleanse. Holding block drains the defender's power. So you're going to want to buy a couple of these and consider some fights like OG Vision, who is going to be very difficult because his power gain as a boss is so fast that if you don't hold block right away, you are going to instantly push him to a special 3, and depending on how much health you have left, you might KO yourself. So cleanse is one that you really want to think about, and in this fight, my plan is going to be to just retreat and immediately block. And hopefully that will counter the power gain. And if not, hopefully I will still have enough health to not die. But you just never know. So next to cleanse, we have cracking blow. This is another one that I would say has certain usages, but also outside of the Kang boss battle, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Special 1 attacks deal increased damage for each armor up on the defender and remove all armor up buffs. So I think if you'd want to use this on Kang, go for it. But this was one of the least useful ones. I would not recommend getting more than one of these, and save most of yours for much, much, much more fun ones that we are going to get to here in a second. Now, scrolling down, Cut Deep is by far one of the ones that I'm going to stack up on. I'm going to get at least 5 of these, because debuffs caused by the attacker last 100% longer, and the debuff that I care about lasting 100% longer is bleed. We are going to combine Cut Deep with other ones we're going to talk about in a second, and when you stack them together, these 44,000 PI enemies will go down in like 15 seconds. It will be a joke, and how much fun is it to bring your Symbiote in and just wreck the competition in 15 to 20 seconds. That is why this month's difficulty should be so much fun. So stack Cut Deep with others, but flag that one. Buy as much of it as possible. I'm buying 5 to 10 of that one, and I am not apologizing for that. Okay, next to it is Evolution. I wouldn't buy a damn one of these. Buffs on the attacker last 100% longer. You know, I'm going to go ahead and just go with Cut Deep and not waste my Clintar strands on this one. It's similar, but not as effective in my book. Now, Fight Dirty has a very specific purpose for the first boss, which is a evade champion in OG Spider-Man. you know if you get True Strike at the start of the fight, you actually prevent Spider-Man from evading. So this was made, I think, specifically for this fight. I would buy at least 2 of these because you know that they're going to be 2 paths. So even if you fight it perfectly, you're going to want to have that True Strike at the beginning and hopefully finish that first fight in 15 to 20 seconds. And that will be the first OG Spider-Man fight of your Symbiote difficulty path to worry about. We're going to move on to Frenzy. This one is another one that I think I'm going to buy at least 3 or 4 of because upon using a special one, gain increased critical chance for 10 seconds. So I think my plan, and as a cautionary tale, I have not done this yet, but my plan is to just do special ones with my Symbiote and really limit anything past a special one for time's sake. Because if I'm stacking those bleeds and doing a good job of fighting, I'm not going to have to worry about even going to a special 2. So I'm going to buy 2 or 3 of these. It's not going to be as high on a priority list as, say, the cut deep one, but it's still going to be pretty important. Now, next one, Hardened Coating. This one is amazing because if you gain perfect block at full health and you parry at the beginning of the fight, you are automatically going to defeat the opponent without losing anything, and you're going to carry that full health over to the next fight, and the next fight, and the next fight, and life is going to be beautiful. So I'm going to buy at least 5 of these, and I would recommend that you do the same. Now, subsequently, in for the kill, Special 2. I am not going to buy anything that involves a Special 2 or a Special 3 because I plan on the fight going so fast that I'm not going to ever get to my Special 2. So I'm going to buy 0 of these, and I'm going to ignore it. Now, Killer Accuracy. Cool name. Special 1 attacks are unblockable with a combo of 20 hits or more. I don't plan on having a combo of more than 20 hits, and certainly not 40, because I want the battle, thanks to the bleed damage, to be over before that. So I'm going to skip all Killer Accuracy ones as well. Mind Games, something you play with on dates, but maybe not in MCOC. Entering the blocking state will place a taunt on the opponent, which increases the chance of them using a special attack. Now, you might want to use this against somebody like, OG Vision, who is going to be pushed to a Special 3, but I'm not going to use it because I would rather just take that Special 3 to the face and get that damage done. I would rather save mine for better ones, so I'm also going to buy 0 of those. Momentum. Gain a random buff every 5 hits in a combo. I don't want to gain a random buff. I want a guaranteed buff for the Clintar strands that I'm spending, so random buffs don't do it for me. I'm going to buy 0 of these. Now, Paralyze. This is one that intercepting an enemy champion stuns them for 3 seconds. If you are great at intercepting, go for it. I am not going to be intercepting much. I'm going to stick to parrying to be safe and also hold that perfect block, so I'm going to be buying 0 of those. Now, Power Start 1. It is what it is. Start each fight with 1 bar of power. This might be really smart. Maybe I'll play around with and buy a couple since I am going to try to do a couple of Special 1 boosts. But overall, I can get to my Special 1 so easily just doing combos that I may not invest on any of these, at least not at the beginning. Purge. Hitting a stunned champion with a heavy attack removes all buffs currently on them. Don't care about that one at all. Skipping the Purge. Quick Reflexes. Dodging a special attack with dexterity fills your own power bar with the dodge special attack's power cost. Really cool, and I'm sure I'm going to be dodging attacks, but again, my plan is for the fights to be over so fast that maybe they're not even going to get off a Special 1, so I might play around with 1 or 2 of those, but a 2 max, saving the rest of those. Recoup. Regenerate 110% of damage taken from damage over time. Debuffs. I'm not planning on getting hit with any debuffs, so unless I'm fighting a specific champion that automatically applies them to me, I'm not going to buy it. I might buy a maximum of 2 of these, but most likely I might also not buy any of these. So, you keep hearing me say save, save, save. Trust me, I'm going to spend the majority on them coming up. Second Wind, just like a night of drinking, I suppose. Upon taking lethal damage, heal 10% of your maximum health for each buff currently active on your Symbiote. This effect has a cooldown for 10 seconds. So if you know you're about to die, right, aka lethal damage, you might want to put one of these bad boys on it. So this is one that, subject to how well I fight, I may or may not buy 1 or 2, but hopefully I won't need to buy 1 or 2 at all. Symbiotic Switch. Upon using a Special 2, the attacker and defender temporarily switch health bars for 5 seconds. That is, I guess, really effective if you're about to die, but I am not going to care at all about Special 2 items. So I'm going to skip that altogether. Too much randomness. Now we only have 5 left. And I have been telling you to save your Clintar strands for the majority of this. I just want to say right now, Kabam is not stupid. They know that they have to charge 15 Clintar strands for the middle 2 and 10 for the outsides for a reason. So Tenacious really is for one champ and one champ only that I care about, and that is the Void boss toward the end of the contest. You have a 70% chance to remove a debuff every 3 seconds. Void is going to place Fear of the Void on you, and you want to be able to remove that, so this will do that. I'm probably going to buy 2 of them for each path of the Void difficulty. Now, besides that, this is what I am going to stock up, I kid you not, maybe 20 worth. Because critting the defender while they have a bleed debuff on them places a critical bleed debuff on them. You combine Total Carnage with Cut Deep, and you will see bleed damage that make Wolverine and X-23 and OG Black Panther, etc. shake their heads in jealousy. That is going to be so much fun. So Total Carnage, Frenzy, and Cut Deep are the 3 ones that I care about most for offense. And then the Hardened Coating, which kind of makes me think of Harden from Pokemon, is going to be my defensive mastery. Those 4 I am going to buy so many of. Maybe use all of my Clintar strands. And then just things like Recoup, Fight Dirty, Cleanse, Undying, Cracking Blow, Cauterize, Recoup, and Tenacious I'm going to use just 1 or 2 of for specific boss battles, and that's it. Now, some people have told me that Unknown Enemy really helped them because the ability accuracy is reduced for all non-symbiote defenders. If I get to a point where I need to use this, I will, but it's not going to be one that I automatically encourage you to use because hopefully you won't have to be in that position. And then last but certainly not least, Vicious Assault. Special 2 places of Poison, Bleed, Shock, and Incinerate. That sounds really fun, and I think this is going to be something that if I need to use a special 2, I would probably combine this with the Power Gain Special 1 because I automatically am halfway to placing a Poison, Bleed, Shock, and Incinerate. This is one of those things if you just want to punk a defender, like if you hate fighting a specific champion, like say it's Medusa, for example, or MODOK, and you just hate fighting that defender, and you have a chance to get off a Special 2 that just gives them a crazy amount of damage to get your bitterness out of the way toward that champion, I say go for it. But I'm only going to use maybe 1 or 2 of them if I have those left over. Otherwise, I'm going to say this again. Total Carnage, Frenzy, Cut Deep, and Hardened Coating. I'm going to spend 85% of my Clintar strands on. So, this hopefully is giving you an idea of what to use yours on. Hopefully you have budgeted well and you're not going to have to spend cash or units to get more of these. Just know that there does become a point where if you die so often, you might not want to risk continuing to put units into the items that aren't worth as much. I actually think overall it's much better to still use your Symbiote if you need be to beat Epic than Symbiote difficulty because the Epic difficulty actually has 6-star shards and still a great amount of Tier 2 Alpha shards and Tier 5 basic fragments. The Symbiote difficulty is pretty tame in comparison. So there you have it. I know some of you might agree, some of you might disagree, but this is my personal preference on what I'm going to spend my Clintar strands on. Thanks for watching so much. Good luck with the newest difficulty, and I hope in the next couple of days that I will 100% it myself and have that 5-star featured crystal to open, which Stark Spidey will not be in, but hopefully we'll still get at least a new champion. I still don't have a Colossus. Maybe I'll get him. Stay tuned.